welcome to London.
Welcome to the History Lord. You join us here today and we're in the Mall. To my right you've got Buckingham Palace down the end, to my left you've got Admiralty Arch down there towards Trafalgar Square. But I'm going to have a quick chat today about these two magnificent statues behind me. They're to George VI and his wife Queen Elizabeth, who became Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother. Now the first statue was unveiled after his death in 1955. He died in 1952, the statue was unveiled in 1955, and then the second statue was unveiled in 2007 of the Queen Mother. Now the reason they're here is simple. It's just down the road from Buckingham Palace, so it was decided when the statues were placed that the Queen, when she passed all the time, would actually see her father and then a statue of her mother as well. Now George VI, as he wasn't actually born George, he was born Albert, and everyone knew him as Bertie. And if you've seen the film The King's Speech, it's a very good film, not totally accurate because of Hollywood liberties you have to take, but it's quite a good representation of a part of his life, which I suggest you do go and have a look at. He did have a pronounced stutter. He wasn't destined to be king, but in 1936 everything changed and his brother abdicated. That was Edward VIII, and he became king. He was king throughout the Second World War, and part of his duties, he actually stayed in London throughout the Second World War and boosted morale. The Queen, Elizabeth, as she was back then, was also very good at boosting morale, and Adolf Hitler once called her the most dangerous woman in Europe, and that was because she actually knew how to use the press to their advantage and to actually boost the morale of the British public, in particular the Londoners who were being bombed at the time. One of her famous quotes was when Buckingham Palace was bombed in September of 1940, she walked out and she looked at the damage and she said, "Now I can look the East End in the face." And that again boosted everyone's morale at the time. Now Bertie sadly died in February of 1952. He died of lung cancer, and his young daughter at the age of 25, Elizabeth, took over as Queen. Her mother then became Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother. Technically she should have been Queen Elizabeth the Queen Dowager, but her mother-in-law was still alive, Queen Mary. She didn't die until 1953. You can't have two Queen Dowagers, so she chose the Victorian title of the Queen Mother. She went on to have another 50 years of life. She threw herself back into royal life after a year of mourning, and then she threw herself back into horse racing. I believe she was one of the best horse racing breeders and trainers in the world, or at least her staff were on her behalf. And there we are. And if you do look, we'll put a cut in here of the murals behind us. There's one mural there depicting the Queen, the King and the Queen during the Second World War, and there's another mural depicting the Queen Mother after the death of George VI and her love of horse racing and things like that. There we are. It's on the tour, so if you do want to come and do one of the tours, either with myself or my friend Chris, who will do them if I can't do them, then please do book online. Go to historylord.co.uk, or if you don't like me but you want Chris to do it, it's christopherjamesaboutLondon.com. And if you want to see what James does behind the camera when he's not behind the camera for me, then go to Last Line Films as well. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you very soon. Take care.